there's different buckets of interviews, and we always start with strategy first. Like the first several sessions we talk about with people, and you know this, I don't even talk about podcasting. I just talk about who are your best relationships, and we don't even talk podcasting. And by the way, people are like, well, I just want this to be the best content ever. I'm like, listen, of course, and it will be. And here's why. When you think about the type of interviews you can do, okay? Now you could have a thought leadership interview, which is your expertise and you're the thought leader on it. And then when we talk about external interviews, you could have social proof interviews, meaning like you have an awesome, amazing big guest, like you have Bill Gates or Reid Hoffman or someone big that everyone's heard of or company. You could have strategic partners and referral partner interviews. So these are people that you should be or are collaborating with a lot. And a lot of times you already have amazing relationships with these people. Now, here's the thing when we talk about content. When you have your best strategic partners or referral partners on, they're in the industry you're in, you are interested in what they do, they're interested in what you do, it will create amazing content because of that, friendship collaboration. And so people are really, Michael, concerned about the content. And I already know that, of course, that's like, it's kind of like when people talk about your company and like, if you want to scale your company, you got to do X, Y, Z. And some people go, listen, you have to have a good product. You have to have a good product to scale your company. That's kind of like par for the course. That's a given, right? So, there is you have to get reps in as like an interviewer. It's a different skill set and you will get reps in. But when you feature your best relationships and partners, they're in the same industry as you, so they'll tell cool stories and it will lead to good content. So it will lead to good content. But the thought first is instead of content, is like, who do you have on? And from there, you can think of what are the cool questions to ask and so the methodologies.
First who, then what kind of.
Yeah. The methodologies that you teach and go through are like invaluable for people. And they can use that in writing, in speaking, in writing a book, in a podcast, in a video. They could use those across all of it. So like the foundation you are teaching, they can put into play with any medium, right?
Yeah. And what I like about it too is, as you know, I'm kind of using the blockbuster approach for writing where you spend a lot of time researching something so you can create one of the best articles that have ever been written on that. And so I also see how having these interviews can help. Let's say you wanted to research a world expert. If you're saying, hey, can I have half hour of your time or an hour of your time?
Totally.
To get a small clip, it might be hard. But if it's for a podcast, you get a piece of content that stands alone. You can even chop up in the clips and you get the content and develop your ideas. So
totally. It's a total shortcut. And when you're like, hey, I want to just talk to you and have a virtual cup of coffee, like, I don't know, I'm super busy if someone's world renowned. But, if I say, listen, Michael, I'm doing a series of the top direct response marketers on the planet, and I would love to include you in that. And here are the other people I've already included. You're like, sure, that sounds great. Or even better, the last person I interviewed, I say, who should I have on? And they suggest Michael Simmons. I go, Michael, I had so-and-so recommend you, and I'd love to have you on. So it's not even me asking, it's one of your colleagues who you're best friends with recommending you to do it. And if I'm like, I want to really learn from the best of the best on direct response marketing or whatever the topic is, having those people on, it's like you're learning from the source and you're doing research. So it's a total shortcut.
So one thing you said that's interesting is that it's one of the best ways to build relationships. And so when you said that, I thought, okay, there's different ways that, one is trying to get on somebody's calendar, take them out to coffee. Another one would be go to a conference or bringing conferences together. You have in the background rise25.com where you've brought a lot of entrepreneurs together probably before COVID to do retreats and learn from each other. What makes podcasts stand out for you as kind of the highest leverage way?
Yeah, I love that question. Such a good question. And it lives on. And what I love about it, if you have a virtual coffee or you go at an event, it's amazing. There's no replacing in this day and age, like face-to-face, even in, pressing flesh, eating, eating with each other. But that 30-minute conversation, like right now when we're talking, this lives on. This lives on for years. I've had people reach out from an interview I did 8 years ago and be like, I love this interview. And then I go, cool. Like I reach out to the person who I did the interview with and go, I just got a message from someone saying they listened to that episode we did 8 years ago and they love it. So it lives on. And, it's something you can continuously, and I talk about giving, it creates this give loop, because when someone messages me and go, Jeremy, I love the interview you did. And, someone just emailed the other day, I love the interview you did with so-and-so. I emailed that person and go, hey, I got this message. It's just a way for me to reconnect with that person in a positive way. I'm not asking for anything. I'm not looking for anything. It's just always a positive interaction. Hey, by the way, when they did that, I posted the interview on Facebook because I forgot about the interview from 8 years ago. And so it continuously gives to, that person, and it gives to other people seeking that content.